Hi everybody, my name is Vladimir and I'll try to show you in this video briefly what I've used to help deliver better online content or class. Um, Essentially I've used the iPad Pro, and that's what I say here, using technology, which is the iPad Pro that I've used to deliver this content. And particularly I want to point out three things that I think really helped me in the process. The first thing is recording class notes, or I should perhaps say recording handwritten class notes that you can post online, like for Canvas. I find that recorded handwritten class notes are a little bit better than just simply PDF file with your notes on. The students can follow your thought process, and you show them step by step, and in the same time you explain the process. So essentially, as like they're watching you doing the problem. So that's the first thing we're gonna go over. The second thing will be hosting live class sessions through either Zoom or MS Teams, but you can also use this to have live office hours. All right, and the last thing that I'm going to go over is grading handwritten assignments that students have uploaded on Canvas. Essentially, what is really important here is the feedback, to students that you can give this way. Okay, so these are the three things I'm going to go over, and hopefully I'm not going to bore you. All right, so the first thing, recording your class notes using the iPad. Before we can start recording the notes, we need to make sure that the screen recording is enabled on the iPad. And to see if it's enabled or not, we need to pull up the control center menu, which can be done by swiping down the top right corner of the iPad. And in this control center menu, there should be a button that looks like a recording button, basically a circle. If it's not there, like it's not here in my case, all you need to do is just add it. You go to the settings on the iPad, you go to the control center, and then you click on customize controls. And then these are the buttons that are included in Control Center. We need to include the screen recording. To include it, we just simply tap the plus button, and now it's included. Now, if you go back again, if you swipe the control center menu, now we see it, it's there. And now because I'm using it, I'm recording this session. Of course, I cannot click it, but essentially you can do two things with it. You can just simply click it, and if you click it once, it's going to start counting 3, 2, 1, and it's going to start recording. And essentially everything that is on your iPad screen is going to be recorded in the video. The second thing you can do, if you click and hold it, a menu will pop up, and in that menu you can select what you want to do with the recording. For this particular one, we're just gonna, the default is saving it to photos, and that's what we're gonna use. And also the second part is you can either switch on or off the microphone. In this case, of course, I want my microphone on, but if you decide to do voiceover later over your notes, you can turn off the microphone. All right, so that's what we need to do to start recording. Once we have set this up, we open the application of our preference to deliver the class notes, and in my case, I'm using GoodNotes. And this is what I've been using also to start with. So this is one, I'm going to do this really briefly. This is one example because I'm teaching math. Obviously, I'm going to do a math problem. I'm sketching the graph of an equation by plotting points. And we need to graph or sketch this function y equals 4 minus x squared. So what we're going to do, we're going to create a table. And we're going to select few values for x, and we're going to compute the values for y, and I'm going to be working with these values for x: -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, and 3. And then we're computing the values for y. I'm going to just do for the first one 4 minus essentially replacing x with -3. -3 squared, so this is 4 minus 9, this is -5, and that's one of the points. -3, -3, -5 is the first point. So for the second one, for when x is -2, we get 4 minus 4, this is 0. When x is -1, we get 4 minus 1, that's 3. When x is 0, 4 minus 0, this is 4. When x is 1, 4 minus 1, this is 3. When x is 2, 4 minus 4, this is 0. And then when x is 3, 4 minus 9, this is negative 5. So these are the points we want plotted. These are their coordinates. So the first one is negative 3, negative 5, negative 3, negative 5. That's the first point. The second point is negative 2, 0. That's going to be here. The third point, negative 1, 3, negative 1, and then 3. So this is the third point. The fourth point is 0, 4. 1, 4 is the next point. 2, 0 is the fifth point, or sixth point. And then 3 and negative 5 is the last one that we have. And now all we need to do to create this graph, or to sketch the graph, is just connect the dots or the points that we've plotted. And that's how you sketch a function given its equation, by plotting points. All right, so this is one example, and you can do a bunch of stuff. You know, you can import images into this application. And again, you can use any application you want, but this is how you do it. Once you stop the recording, and you can stop the recording, you know, if you go here in the top, or you can just do the same thing, pull up the control center menu, you know, and then click on this button, it's gonna stop the recording. Or if you click on this red icon here in the top, just click on it, a menu will pop up, and it's gonna ask you whether you want to stop the screen recording. And if you're done, you just stop, you press stop, and the recording will be saved as a video in your photos folder. For now, we're gonna keep rolling. So that's the first part, recording my notes. The second part that I have is live class session through Zoom or MS Teams. Now, I know that USF has opted to use MS Teams, but I mean, and both Zoom and MS Teams have the same feature, but for this video, because I think Zoom is a little bit easier to show, MS Teams is a little bit broader application with a lot of menus, so I'm going to keep it clean with Zoom. MS Teams is essentially the same thing. So to do the live session with either of these, you open the application, and then you start new meeting. So this is Zoom. You start new meeting, and then once you start new meeting, we're gonna continue using our audio. In Zoom and also in MS Teams, there's a share content button in this case in the top corner here that I'm pointing. If you click on it, you can share a bunch of content with your class. And what we need to do, we need to click on share screen. Now because I'm still using that feature on the iPad, the recording, I cannot click on this to start broadcasting, but essentially what you need to do is just, here is going to say start broadcasting, and you hit that button, make sure the microphone is turned on, and you're live with your screen sharing. And once you do that, you can essentially quit the application, Zoom in this case, and then again open your note-taking app and start writing. Whatever you start writing, your students will see on their end. Basically, they're going to be seeing whatever you open up on your iPad screen, they're going to see it because we're sharing our screen. And I think this is really good, because it's essentially like, writing in front of them on a whiteboard. All right, so that's the second part. And the third part is grading handwritten assignments of students that they have uploaded on Canvas, and essentially giving feedback to the students. I think that's what's really important here. So to do so, let's say what we need to do, I'm going to open the Canvas app, and then I've created a test course here, and I've also created a test student, which I've used to upload an assignment. And so this is the when you go to assignments, this is you're gonna see I've created a test 1 assignment, and it says 1 needs grading. You click on it, and then disregard these numbers because it's a test student. Obviously you're gonna see different numbers here, but you click here, and then I see here my test student, and then she submitted an assignment and it needs grading. So I click on it, and then the assignment that the student submitted will pop up. And essentially, this is a handwritten test that they've taken. They've taken some pictures of it. They've put into a single PDF file, and then they have uploaded the PDF file. Now, to grade this and give feedback to the student without the iPad, you essentially, what you're gonna need to do, you're gonna have to download this file on your computer, print it out on a printer, so basically on a few pieces of paper, and then using your handwriting basically grade it, write the feedback on it, and then take pictures of each page, put it back into one PDF file, and then upload it. So that's a lot of work, or else you can do comments here if you want, or writing down here your comments. Essentially, using the iPad, all we need to do is select the annotation tools. And what we can do, we can select, this is the brush is essentially the pen, same thing. We can change the color and we can change the thickness of it here. And I'm gonna use this, I've already selected it. So now using my pen on the iPad, I'm gonna start writing, and let's say this is correct, this is correct. Let's say all of this is correct. And then we go down, we find all of this correct. Well, actually, this one they didn't quite finish the problem. We're asking the function to be given in that form, and I'm gonna write need to write f of x in ax squared plus bx plus c format or form, and I'm gonna say -1 point because you didn't deliver the end result into the form that I was asking. All right, this is correct. So we scroll down. Let's say that all of this is correct. Last part, this is incorrect because we're asking for less than or equal to 0. They've excluded -6 and -5. And since f of -6 equals f of -5, but it also equals f of 2, which all of them are 0, if we go back to the function, we say -6, -5, and 2 need to be included in the solution. And so we're gonna say here union 2, and I'm gonna say -2 points. All right, and so essentially this is how you give your feedback, and we don't need to save anything. All the annotations are being saved automatically from time to time. All we need to do, if we want, if you give a grade. Let's say once you have done all the grading on the test, you say you get 91 or A minus, and then you hit the grade plus button here and you type 91 and okay, and that's gonna get upgraded. Of course I have 0 here because that's what I put for my assignment. I should have put 100, but anyways, this is how you grade it. And essentially this is when they open their assignment, this is what they're gonna see. They're gonna see all of these feedback down, and this is how you do it. This is how you record your feedback directly in Canvas without downloading anything, without doing basically much extra work except for grading and writing down the feedback. And when you're done, you hit done, and that's it. All right, so essentially this is all I had for you guys. The technology, this iPad Pro is really powerful, and I found it to be very helpful, to me at least, to deliver my regular classes. First of all, I also use this iPad as as my writing tool in class for the big auditoria that I teach in. I tried using at the beginning. I tried using the document camera. It was awful compared to this. This is, a lot much better. So these are the things I wanted to share with you. If you have any questions, I'll be more than glad to answer them. Thank you so much for your time. I hope I didn't, bore you to death, and I hope you enjoyed it and you learned something new. All right.